So welcome guys to Wrestling Designs and welcome to some more Mark II content in today's video. Today we're going to be covering who is the king of the shock and spring on the Mark II Golf. Is it the Koni sport suspension with, I think it's eye-back springs potentially, or is it going to be the Bilstein B12s, which is basically B8s, and I think again with eye-back or H&R springs. We're going to find out which is which and the ride height and stuff. So today's going to be which is the best shock and spring, or which is the old school best shock and spring. For me personally, I did a poll. If you guys haven't seen it, 88 people more or less voted, and I think it was 59% went for the B12s and only 41% went for the Koni Sports. So it's quite tight. It is okay. It is quite a big swing towards the B12s. Now the main differences between them is the Koni Sports are adjustables and the Bilsteins are a fixed rate damper. That is a pro as well as a con. Sometimes having too much choice, especially if you don't know what you're doing, you can, the engineers have sorted it out for you. They've figured out what's the best for the vehicle that you have and stuff like that. But for me, I'm going to be with an open mind, and at the end going to decide which one I'm going to have on the car, and that's what's going to stay on the car. Now the reason why I'm going from a coilover kit to shocks and springs is basically because the car actually rides really nice on the coilovers that it's at, especially at the height that it's at. But great handling. Everyone that goes in the car says the car feels really solid, no knocks and bangs and everything. So I am quite happy with it. But there is the added issue here of having coilovers in a car and it not being totally 100% legal on it, where the shocks and springs, once they're kind of painted black, you're good to go. You're not going to have any main issues as well as also here I need to legalize the wheel size, the tire size are also on your actual documents for the car, and at the moment I only have legal 14s, which is what I run on most of the time, but I would like the option to run a 15. And to have the 15, basically you take the car, you pay, you get it tested. As long as the wheels and package that you have on the car that you want to put on the car don't rub, they'll more or less pass it for you, and you pay the fee, and you have you're legal to run the tire size that you want to run. So to help me with that as well, there's no point having coilovers and raising it up just a little bit more. I'm hoping one of these kits will raise it up slightly to where it is, as well as give me the added safety of they'll look under the car, they won't see coilovers, they'll see shocks and springs. It's just going to make my life a little bit easier in the long run, less stressful, not having coilovers on the car. So that covers what's happening today. But before we get into this, let's go over to our sponsors, Wrestling Designs, and see what's going on the website this week. So here at WrestlingDesigns.com, we're proud to be sponsoring Wrestling Designs YouTube channel. Anyway, enough of the joking around. Yep, so please guys, there's loads of stuff that's on the website. Every week or every time I make a video, I try to put up new items that I've got laying around the workshop, as well as I'm kind of sourcing bits and pieces here and there. And, so you guys can actually go to a trusted website. It's PayPal only, it's worldwide shipping more or less. If you've got PayPal, there is no issues. Obviously with PayPal as well, you get some kind of security that the item is going to be there. I also always update you guys with whoever buys an item with the tracking number as soon as it goes out for postage. And it's on its way. So yeah guys, so today's only 3 items going on there, and it's this. I found this really immaculate, really good condition CE1 fuse box. Now this will fit all your Mark 1s as well as the early Mark II Golfs. These tend to get a lot of water damage, and as you can see, this one's been dry stored and there's absolutely it's just in really good condition. I don't know where this has been. I think I've had this maybe in storage for maybe about 20 years in a plastic bag, and it's literally almost immaculate. But yep, so that's going to go up on the website. So now moving on to the GTD boxes. Now these are not new items. If you've been one of the 10 plus people that have bought boxes, now this is potentially, like I said, at least 10 people have bought these. They've gone all over the world, from the US, all over Europe, and one to South Africa. Now these things this is potentially going to be the last one for a while maybe, so this one's going to go up on there. The only difference with this one is it's missing the snorkel and it's got a bit of damage here. So this will be going at a slightly lower price than the other ones that have been in better condition. but still, it still functions as it is. Yep, these seem to be selling pretty well. And like I said, because of the eBay fees, you know, some people have got these up on eBay for at least 150 plus. You know, this is under £100 on the site plus the postage. So yep, grab yourself a deal, guys. This is going to be maybe potentially the last one for a while. Now, because that late type GTD box is going to be limited stock, I do have about 3 of these actually in stock, which are the Mark 1 GTD airboxes. Now, if you want to give your ABF or whatever it is you're running that kind of retro kind of look on your car, you can use the early type 1. And what's cool about the early type 1s is, you know, you've got that little vent there, that little cover on the inner wing, and you're wondering what it was for. Well, that's what it's for. It's for the snorkel, for the GTD boxes to go on there, pick up the air from that. So it doesn't pick it up from the engine hot side, it all kind of picks it up from the inner wing, which is pretty cool. And like I said, it gives you that retro look because it is the early type, especially if you've got a Type 19 or what we call a Mark 1.5, which is, you know, it's got the latest spec one-piece windows, but still has the C1 fuse box and the bits and bobs. You can still use one of these. It looks pretty cool. And the advantage of this actually is the height of it is not very tall. So you can actually, as you see, the pipe kind of comes up. Now, the benefit of this is very similar, or this can be kind of adjusted to fit into a Mark 1. So if you've got a Mark 1 with an ABF in it, or something that's running, you know, electronic kind of injection with that kind of, you know, like an 8 valve maybe on standalone or something like that, doesn't have an AMS meter, you can also use this in the 16 valve ABF in your Mark 1 Golfs. You know, you're gonna have to potentially trim the bottom of it so that you can mount it up, but because it's small, again, you can fit it into your cars. So yeah, these are up on the site. I think there's only about 2 or 3 of these as well. So yeah, those later ones might be absent for the site for a while, but if you do leave a note on there, I'll be able to contact you if you are interested in the later type airboxes. As soon as one comes in, I can let you know. Maybe you can jump the queue before somebody snaps it up on the website. All right, guys, that's enough of this. Like I said, please check out the website at restodesigns.com. Back to the video. Let's jump into this video. So here we have the kits. In the blue corner, we have the Bilstein B12s. And in the red corner, we've got the Koni Sports. So I've kind of given you a little rundown. These are the original bad boys of Mark II suspension kit back in the day, before coilovers became what they are today. You have picked Koni Sports or Bilstein B12s. So we're reverting back to those old kind of styles. Now, whichever kit I do end up fitting on the car, like I said at the beginning of the video, painting them in black so that they're fully 100% stealth. So now, first things first, we're going to start off with these Bilsteins. Car's on the ramp, wheels are off. But before I get on to actually fitting the suspension kit, I did notice I don't really like the look of this. All the stone guard is all falling off on here because of the heat. It's actually melting off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the jet wash out and remove what's loose, and then go over it with some Hammerite stone guard shield or stone chip shield from Hammerite, which is quite good. I think it's actually even got wax in it as well, and it really kind of sticky and leaves a nice finish on there. So let's get on with that first before I put the suspension kit on. So yeah, this stuff goes on really well, as you can see. Looks a lot better, definitely the way forward. Alright, let's see how this performs. Take it out on the open road.
So what can I say, guys? First impressions, I like it. I mean, I like the Mark II anyway, so what's not to like? And I guess the ride is definitely softer, definitely more OEM plus. Hopefully the noise of the sunroof isn't coming through, because with the sunroof closed you literally can't see me. But yeah, I mean, I'm chucking it into bends. Bit of a bumpy road, soaking up the bumps really well. The response is definitely there, the steering response is definitely there. Seems all very controlled. Yeah, it's definitely a thumbs up for me for these Bilsteins. Yeah, so this is definitely a nice, comfortable ride. I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with this. The handling hasn't lost, I don't think, anything in handling perspectives wise in these roads that I kind of know, and the ride quality seems actually much improved. This is definitely going to be a hard act to follow for the Koni Sports, but I guess there's only going to be one way to find out. Let's take this to the workshop, let's rip these B12s off and throw these Konis on.
So the easy thing about the Bilsteins, the B12s, you can just bolt them on and they've all, like I said, been engineered for you. With the Konis, something I would like to go 2-to-1 is what I call it. So if you fit the rears at 4, I would put the fronts at 8. If you put the rears at 3, I would then put the fronts at 6 clicks hard. This is kind of how I would work it normally. With this, it's not even, I've kind of marked it on here, put a mark and kind of got it to line up with one of these holes, and it was almost 2 turns from fully hard to fully soft. So I put it kind of just below the middle, so it should be sitting on number 5 more or less if you was to go by clicks wise. Set up the front to about anywhere between a 6, 7 or 8 depending on getting the balance right. If I need to readjust these, then it is a bit of a mission. You have to remove them all and squash them all the way and turn them and stuff, but hopefully that isn't the case. Let's just get a base lane down and compare these back to back with the Bilsteins.
So now, for the moment of truth, the Konis. First impressions, yeah, rides very similar, but also very different. Maybe because of the adjustability. It feels a little bit stiffer on the rear than it did with the Bilsteins, which I think in the end makes the car feel a bit more playful. Definitely I can kind of throw it into the corners. It definitely seems to want to rotate a bit more. Definitely a lot of fun. I think maybe the adjustability of the Konis has given it that edge, because there's no real loss in ride quality between the two kits. Their ride quality is very similar, but it seems like obviously the adjustability of the Konis has definitely given the car, you know, and if I want to dial out maybe a bit of the oversteer, I can stiffen up the front. If you then want to, you know, maybe add more oversteer, you can maybe soften up the front slightly, because obviously doing the rears, as you saw in the video, because adjusting the rears isn't so easy. So, but yeah, I'm happy. So I'm basically going against the poll, guys. So guys, please check out the website, rusticdesigns.com. There's loads of bits on there. The next video might actually be an unboxing video with kind of new parts that are going to be coming to the website. So hope you guys stay tuned for that, maybe next week or the following week after. Guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. You know what it is. Click the bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling, click on the notification bell, and be safe, guys.